Pretty guys called my local Kawasaki shop and asked them what they would charge to do a clutch, new clutch plates, gasket, and springs on my new Ninja 250R, and they wanted $573 to replace the clutch plates, friction plates, springs, and a gasket. And I thought that was absolute insanity. The clutch kit alone, they wanted $225 for. So just to give you an idea, I ordered this entire kit that you see in front of you with everything needed, clutch, all of it, springs, and gasket for $33 freaking dollars on eBay through a company that I use all the time. And they make very good products. I've used Caltrix in all my bikes, including brake pads and everything else. They know what they're doing. They're a decent company, and they are able to design stuff for a fraction of the price you would pick up Kawasaki stuff for. And I find that most of the time their stuff lasts longer. So I'm going to show you how to tear this down. We're going to be pulling this panel off right here. We're going to go ahead and pull this panel off. I believe it disconnects somewhere here, maybe not. I'll have to figure this out and figure out how far that panel goes down there. I'm sure this is going to be fun to take off. But that being said, it kind of has to be done. So we're going to get my drill out. We're going to take all this off. And the problem is, it's really annoying because all we need to get to is right here. So I have to remove this panel all the way down, all the way through the front, and then take it off here. So looks like I'll be pulling off this piece here to get that out. That works out. We'll take off those. I'll probably have to disconnect my blinker, and maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just leave the blinker connected and we'll just kind of let the panel hang. That might simplify my life a little bit, but all we have to do is get down to here. We need to get to the clutch package. So it's actually doesn't look like as much work as I thought it was going to be. Having an aftermarket pedal on there definitely helps, because then the brake pedal's not in the way of this. So that simplifies. We are going to have to drain the oil. So that oil change I just did, that oil's coming back out real fast. So let me go get a container or drain the oil. I think this job should take roughly about an hour and a half. So, I mean, guys, they charge $120 an hour at a shop to work on these things. I'm thinking this job literally, especially with basic tools in my garage, should only take an hour and a half. So clearly you're getting ripped if you take these things to the dealership or any other service shop that decides to charge you an arm and a leg to work on these, because it really is not that much work. And I'm going to show you that today. So let's replace the clutch on this 2012 because it needs it. And I know it needs it. And so we're just going to do it. I got a long trip coming up. I want to make sure the clutch is in good shape for the trip. I'm also replacing both brake pads because the rear ones are shot and the front ones are on their way out. And so we're going to do all this here real fast. So go ahead and replace the clutch on this puppy. So of course, before I even get started, you can see some of these have been stripped out before. Buddy obviously put a grinder on there so we could get that one out. So once I get this one out, unfortunately I'm gonna have to grind that one down and put a spacer in it too, but I can't even get it out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bypass this by pulling that just to get me started here. Of course, that's just awesome when bolts don't come out due to lack of anyone ever taking them out and letting things get a little rusty. It's not a huge deal, but still frustrating. I believe that is a 10. Let's see if I'm right about that. At a 10, it is a 10. Break it free first. Break that one free. There we go. So we'll go ahead and just pull these off. Should release the panel. Those should have a bolt behind them. Good, they do. So now that panel can come off regardless of whether that bolt wants to come out. We're just gonna have to disconnect that line right there. So once I get this away, we'll put these screws back in here so we don't lose them. We remember what they go to. So I need to figure out what's going on with this line, what it's connected to and why. It's probably just a little spacer back here. Little line that this runs to. Oh, please don't tell me that this is connected to just the, oh, okay, just the overflow, good. I can disconnect that. I can disconnect that, that's not a big deal. All right, cool. So we'll set these aside for now by the back tire just so we remember. And these ones are easy. That's why we got proper tools right there. Simplify your life, use electric tools. Speeds up your job. Whee! Alright, the rest of these should be pretty easy to get out. And then we'll finish the job after I drain the oil, because it's going to take a minute to get the oil out. So let's get this last one down here. So I'm done with that. We'll change that over. If anybody was wondering, that's a 532. And I'm using a 316. So, put that down here. Undo this one. But as you can see, this whole sucker's stripped out. Somebody clearly gave this a shot already and it didn't work, so whatevs. Alright, so now I got a few plastic clips down there on the bottom to get off. And then, I'm pretty sure this panel should part from here. I think it slides up and in. So once I get this piece broken loose, we'll go ahead and see what's going on the bottom. But first I gotta get this off of here. We're gonna pull this line and make sure this pops out. Does that come off there? It should. There's a tank pop into that. I remember what's going on here. There we go. Should allow me to get this far enough away that I can disconnect this line here. I don't think it has anything in it because it looks like it's just an overflow line. See if I can get that out of there. There we go. Alright, slide this overflow line out of there. We'll pull this little piece off. There we go. We'll pop that back on. I'll just have to remind myself to put that back on when we're done, which is easy. So that takes care of all that. That should be disconnected up there. Beautiful. Just like that. That's already disconnected there. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we just got to undo a few little plastic clips down here and then we can finish that up. So I guess we can do that next. I'm gonna have to get on the front here and figure out how many clips have to come off. We also need to remember exactly how this goes back in, otherwise this will be a serious pain in the ass doing this. So, yep, other than that, everything looks good. So, all right, let me get down on the front here and we'll have a look at what's going on. Well, I'm down underneath here. Somebody's already pulled these, never put them back in, so there you go. That's always fun when you find out somebody's been trying to do other things and they didn't do it right. Let's actually turn this wheel this way. Should be able to stick this in here. Open this joint up. If I can get this on here. Stick the... I don't even care if this breaks, honestly, because I could probably just order a replacement kit for this, but a lot of these screws need to be replaced. Too many people not having the proper tools to do the job, end up breaking things, and I have to deal with their screw-ups, of course. Yeah, this one's being a pain in my butt already. Let's see, can I push this from behind? Nope. What a pain. Alright, looks like I'm just gonna pull on this one with my hand. Come on, there we go. Okay, we got it. There's that one. And what else we got here? Is that it? That should just part away, just like that. And I might have to take those screws out, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. Might have to take those out. Does this go behind there? Probably does. Oh, maybe not. I think does this just clip in? No, I'm gonna have to pull those, okay. Alright. So, I'm gonna have to back these out here and then I think it'll let it go. So, before we go any further and put too much stress on things. So, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, there's a lot of little screw plastic pieces missing. The one that's supposed to be way down here isn't there. This one was here, this one's gone. And I think that's it. So we're missing that one and that one. I'm sorry, we're missing that one and that one. That made up for a good batch of these. So let's go ahead and grab this tool here again. Switch the head on it back to the 532 here. And I believe these have to come off to get it out. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see if I'm right about that or not. Those are pretty long screws. I feel like they go all the way into these panels. So that should do it there. Let's see. Yep, there she goes. Little pull. Check on your joints to make sure everything clips back in. Should be good. There it is. Okay. So, is there a wire for this? No? Really? Where's the wire? What the fuck? Oh, here we go. This was tucked in the wrong area. Okay. See if we can unplug this. Is this gonna unplug, or is this somebody glue this in here? People. What an annoyance. Alright, that's gotta come out with a... Alright guys, all the way down here, 17 mil. Got you attached to my head if you're wondering why the weird angle. We're not gonna be emptying the oil. Is that on right? Yeah, okay. So I wanna make sure, before I start prying on things, I got this on right. There we go. There she is. Okay. Now, try not to get anything on yourself here. Just gonna drain all the oil out, because once you pull the clutch, you don't want all that oil all over the place. Look at that fresh oil I just put in there. Nice. Nice, very thick, coming out nice and slow. That's what I'm talking about. All right, let me finish draining this, and then we can start pulling these bolts. I'll show you how to disconnect the clutch and all that stuff. I'll go from there. Alrighty guys, size 8. All the way around. Put them on there, crack them loose. One at a time. Okay, about what we're gonna do is pull these two real fast, get this out of the way, put this back to where it came from. Just remember those two. Now we gotta disconnect. I get that in there, there we go. Now we gotta disconnect this from here. So we're gonna push this forward. I can tell this is gonna be a lot of fun. All right, whatever. For now, small one left, long one on the right. See if I can get this cable to give me enough slack to actually pull this out here. Or it's gonna be an asshole. Come on, you can do it. The struggle is real. Get over there. So basically, you got to get that wire below here so that you can take this out. It's kind of rough to do. It takes a minute. It might even be easier if I just grab my pliers and give her a go. So as I suspected, it was easier to cut this little rubber piece off. So I tried to cut a straight line so we can just pop it back on there when we're done. And then I could throw a zip tie around the top and the bottom. Hopefully that keeps water out, but you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Annoying, but is what it is. So that was not coming off there. That rubber thing was just constantly in the way and was fighting me too much. I just don't have time for all that, so yeah. So anyways, let's put these two back in. Just gotta remember when we put this back on that those go on there. So little one was on the left, big one was on the right. We're just setting those on there, and then we're gonna see if we can get this off for the first time without losing track of all my screw lengths, because that would really suck. But we gotta take this off. To get this out, basically what you're gonna do, the way this comes out, just gonna grab this, turn it sideways, and pull slowly, and you'll see it'll just pop right on out. Just take it slow. That's it. Take her nice and slow, all the way till she's out. So there you go. You see how that works? So all the way to the side, and then pull up and slowly just move it back and forth, and should be good to go. So when you go to put it back in, what do? That's right, you guessed it. All the way down like that, and then back over, make sure this piece is forward, and it locks back into place again. So all the way out until it's like that, and then just pull slowly until it comes out just like that. I hope you guys got that down easily. We're gonna set that there for now. We're gonna put that screw back in there so we don't misinterpret our length here. And now comes the fun part. For this portion here though, I'm just gonna put that on there so I don't get any debris in there. Let me move my oil canister and get a piece of cardboard underneath here, because I know what comes next. Leaking and little drips and stuff. So let me move some tools here and get on to the next step. Alright, now the fun begins. Can we get this thing off without hitting it with a rubber mallet? I'm assuming this is the first time this thing has come off of here. So I'm hoping that this just comes off nice and smoothly. Somehow I don't think it's going to, but it is what it is. If I have to make a bolt chart down here, I will. Let's see if we can just wiggle this puppy off of here with a little bit of pressure, and hopefully it just comes right on off. Somehow I'm thinking that's not going to be the case, and this is going to be a absolute fight to the finish, but we will see here. Put a good amount of pressure on it. Yep, alright, time to go get the rubber mallet, because it's not letting loose. So I'll go grab my rubber mallet here. Alright, I went ahead and screwed all these back in just a little bit so I can tap on this with the mallet and see if we can break this loose. So here we go. Oh boy, all the rest of the screws I put in here are probably going to fall back out. Damn these things. There it is. Got it that time. Okay, so now we can just back all these out again. Wow, I was really thinking this one was going to put up a huge pain in my butt. That actually was not nearly as bad as I thought it was. Took a minute to get it to go. Now, I can put this lid back on here. Make sure we got all this out of there. Put this back on there. We can take this off with all the screws still attached to it. Easily. We'll just back them all out one at a time. And we'll pull this off gently. Remember guys, use a rubber mallet. There we go. There we go. Alright, let's just slowly give a pull on this here. Hope that the bottom comes off. There we go. Just as smoothly as the top. There we go. Alright. So, I can see the new gasket got wrecked, which is unfortunate. Or the old gasket got wrecked, so I'm going to have to place this whole gasket here. You can see this is trashed, so I'm going to have to get my scraper, scrape all the old gasket off here before I can replace the clutch plates. There we go. Yep, just going to have to get my utility knife out. Some little razor blades and just scrape the old gasket off there. Let all those settle in there. Alright. And yeah, I'm gonna have to pull some gasket off here too, so I got a little gasket work to do. I was hoping that would come off clean. Somehow I knew it wasn't going to. So, there you go. This also cover needs to be cleaned too, so alright, we got a little work ahead of us here on this piece. For right now, let's just focus on the first part of the project here before we get to the second part. So here we go. You guys have a good look inside there. Spindles should be able to pull out after I pull these out, so figure out what size these are. I'll pull them, looks like a 10. Thinking it's probably a 10. Change the 8 off here. Back over to a 10. use a deep well. Not that I need to. We'll use a deep well. Let's see what this takes to get that off of there. There we go. Break them all loose. There's that. There's that. There's that. Now, look at the lineup here. Remember this lineup, because that's how I'm going to be putting them back in. See the divot? All these are thick, but there's a divot. When I put these back in, I'm doing it the exact same way. Right there. Alright. There's one. Doesn't matter what side these go in on. They're all the same. Just set them right down here. Somebody running with a dog. And keep on going. Like I said, guys, power tools are your friend. Now remember how much they wanted to charge you to do this job. Almost $600 to do this job. Alright, set them all down there. And pop this cover off here if I can get it. There we go. So just be careful when you remove this. Put that one back in there if I can. Come on, get back in there. Get back in there. You can do it. That's alright. I just need to get this part off. If it's going to come with it, it's going to come with it. Alright, that's fine. I'll let it come with it. So there's the old friction plates. There we go. The bearing goes back inside here. So let's pop that bearing off there. That goes right back inside of there. If you guys could see that. That way I can pull the pinion out. We'll set the pinion down right there. Alright, so these don't look horrible. These don't look that bad. Well, let's pull them all and have a look here. Take it one at a time. Maybe two at a time. Whatever it lets me have out all at one time. I'll take it. Alright. There's all that. We'll have a look at each individual plate setup. And we'll go from there. Come on off of there. But these actually don't look too bad. Oh. Not seeing any burn or scorch marks on here. Oh, that one's got some scorching on it. Ah, so does that one. That one does too. Scorch marks, slipping clutch. Slipping clutch. Scorch marks on that one side and clean on that side. Okay, so we do have some slippage going on here. Just a little bit, nothing crazy. That's how you pull those out. So what do you say we replace them? I'll just keep these ones as backup just in case. We'll zip tie all these together how they go. What do you say? Sound like a plan? I'm gonna go grab a zip tie and we'll zip tie these together. Alright, these ones should not slip as easily. These ones have way more pads on the inside of these. So we're gonna start with one of these. Now remember, I'm paying attention to this part right here. Alright, that's all I'm paying attention for, is to make sure that lines up where it can. We'll figure that out as we go, because these should slide in once they find their bracket. There we go. So one right there, And then we'll put in plate. If I can get it in there. Come on, you can do it. There we go. All right. Back to here, one of these. There we go. Plate. Remember, I'm lining up these. There we go. Plate. Pad, plate, pad, plate, pad, plate, till you get to the end. There should be 9 of them. Alright, another one of these. Doesn't matter if it's, there's no uniform side to this. It could be this way or it could be this way. There's no uniform to it. Just make sure that you are lining these little spacers up the same way. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Make sure you're lining the spacers up. There we go. Okay. We're getting to the end here. Beautiful. Oh my gosh, there's so much more clutch. I can tell you right now, there's way more clutch. Because these are actually, like, yeah, this is sticking out further, which is very good. I'm happy about that. Happy that's sticking out further. Alright, so, easy to remember how this goes. Remember like this. Booyah. Alright, make sure your bearing's in there. Slap that back on there. And it doesn't matter which way this goes as long as it fits. You just gotta make sure the holes line up for the screws. That's it. There it is. Okay, we got new springs. We're gonna replace the old springs with new springs. Here's all the new ones. Once again, doesn't matter how they go. Put them on there. Just like that. Booyah. Alright. Each one off individually. Wasn't dirty in there, so I didn't feel like I needed to clean, which was a plus. Now remember how much the shop wanted to charge you to do this, right? Let's not forget. Let's remember our quote of almost $600. Dan so far only spent $33 and like an hour and a half of my time. Remember, I told you that's about what this job takes. Now before I can finish this job, obviously, I have to do some other stuff where I can put the whole bike back together because I have 2 headlight bulbs that need to be replaced. I need to run down and get some coolant for this because this is, you know, a new bike that I purchased and I can see that it needs things, and while these panels are off, I may as well do it, but you guys get the consistency and the gist of how this works. It literally is this simple to replace your clutch. There's not much to it. So when you hear somebody say like, oh God, oh man, it's so much work, there's so much involved, blah, 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 blah. And you now know how to replace a motorcycle clutch and how easy it is. It's very simple to do. Right? Right. Let's reverse this here. Go until these get tight. And then a little bit past once it's tight. There it is. We'll go to this side. There we go. A little bit past once it's tight. Check this one again because we went straight across. You don't have to crack these suckers down stupid hard, just good enough that they're tight. Till it's tight, a little bit past. A little bit past. There we go. Check each one. Beautiful. Back to here. Yep. Yep. Okay. Now we just got to scrape the gasket off, put the new gasket on there. We're done. Slap it back together, put the oil back in it, put the side panel back on, send it. Now, if any of you guys are wondering, the bulbs that go in there are the H7 basic halogen bulbs. So my high beam was working, my low beam was not. We'll put that in a second. Also, if you're wondering the coolant, it is Peak Original Asian Vehicles Blue Coolant. That's currently what's in here. So we're gonna go ahead and top this reservoir off because clearly it is low. I bought this bike used and I wanna make sure everything's at peak performance before we really decide to start riding this thing around a lot. So there you go, blue coolant. Have a look inside here, see where we're at. All right. Now if I tip the bike up right where we're gonna be at, looks like we are at full. Good. That's it. That's all she needed. Expensive coolant though, $21 for that coolant. Oh boy, because the rain is coming, all the mosquitoes are making their way into my garage right now while I'm trying to do this, but I just finished cleaning off 90% of the gasket that was left on here. The rest will be fine. I can put some oil around it and it'll seat properly. Just want to make sure all the huge big stuff is out of there before I continue. So I got pretty much all of it all the way around. Now I gotta do, unfortunately, I gotta do this piece still, so I'm gonna have to set this up on the trash can. You can see all the old gasket that I've been taking off of here. So then we'll finish installing the headlight. We'll put this back on. We'll pop the oil back in the bike. We'll put the clutch back together and start it up and see how it does. So there's the new gasket, but first we gotta get all this old one out of here. There's still tons of gasket stuck on here, unfortunately, which really sucks because this is a pain in the butt to do this gasket with all these screws on here. I'm gonna have to individually remove each screw. I'm trying to get most of the gasket off, so I have less work for myself here, but it's not coming off too easily, so I got the razor blade. Sometimes I get lucky, I can start it and it'll just kind of peel off as I go. And then sometimes it doesn't at all. See? Like that. Sometimes I get really lucky, it just kind of peels up. And then around these bolts you can see it gets stuck. So there you go. As you can see, my gasket is clean all the way around now. So what we're gonna do is take my utility knife over here. We're gonna go set this back down. I'm gonna take this clean gasket. We're gonna come right on over to here. I'm gonna set, oops, did I just drop a screw? I did just drop a screw. I forgot to put that puppy back in there. There we go. I'll grab all this. I'll come back over to here. And we will proceed to put the new gasket on there carefully. Carefully. Get all this out of the way here. Now that I've cleaned this off, the last thing I want is a bunch of gasket material all over the damn thing. So we'll see if we can get it to stick on here first. I have to go get a little oil. I'll see if this is enough here. It doesn't look like it. No, not quite enough. Alright, well, I'll get, it's alright. I'll grab a little fresh oil and we'll put some fresh oil around here, so give me one sec. Alright, so what I'm going to do is put some fresh oil on the mating surface here all the way around. This will help it create a really good seal. Also really cut back on leaks. This is the same oil that I run in the bike. So I'm using new oil. Like I said, we're just going to put this around the entire mating surface for the gasket. That'll definitely help it create a good seal on there. All the way around. Make sure we got a nice thick coat of it. Then we'll go ahead and put the gasket on there. We'll see if we can get it to seat well before I put the screws in. So this will definitely help with it sticking up here as well. There we go. So for now, we'll just set that aside and we'll see if we can get this to go up there how it should. Go this way? No, I think it goes this way. There she is. Yep, we got a winner, folks. We got a winner. Alright, so Come on, you can do it. This will help me hold it in place too. If I get these over the hooks here, one, and then the bottom one down there, that should help hold it in place where it should go beautifully, like so. There we go. And now once again, guys, I'm gonna take the oil and I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. We're gonna give it a fresh mating surface of oil to work with. Damn, these mosquitoes, boy. They're coming out of nowhere since this rain started coming in. So we're just gonna put it all over here. Make sure we got a good amount on the gasket. All the way down and around. Right? Beautiful. Just like so. Get all this lined up carefully. And get these back in their respective holes if I can. I'm just gonna take it real slow all the way around until I feel them go in. I wanna make sure we're not messing up the gasket at all. Go until we get a good connection all the way around. Now you can tell I did the clutch because the gasket is green. There we go. All the way around. Okay. Now if you guys remember, this one and this one hold the plate, so you don't want to put those all the way back in, because once we put this back in there, which I'll show you how easy that is up next, first we'll go ahead and tighten this down. There we go. All right, now next up here, remember I was telling you about this? This is literally how easy this is to do, right? Drop her down until it seats just like that. Fold this over, push it over. Should go in perfectly just like that. You'll notice now this is locked into place. That fit up underneath the clutch pack. And now we're gonna pull this forward. See how much of a pain in the butt it's gonna be this time. There we go. Got the clutch cable pulled all the way out. Let's see what it takes to sneak this back on there. Probably gonna have to grab my needle nose again to do it, because it was a pain in the butt the first time, so it's gonna be a pain in the butt the second time. So, just to clarify, it did take my vice grips, because it kept sliding down with my needle nose, to clamp onto that, pull it down far enough that I could get it on there. So, future reference, that's what it took. All right, let's back these out here. I gotta pull the cap off again to do that. All right, pull this out. Oops, come on, Dan. There we go. Get these two out. We'll start them in their respective holes again, and we'll crack them down. And then we'll add oil. Oh, here comes the fun. Getting all this back on there. There we go. See if we can get this one on there without too much of a struggle, and there we go. All right. There we go. There you go. All right, now, whew, put that back on there just so we don't, on accident, drop anything in there. And see if we can get this back on easily. How much fight this is gonna take. It shouldn't take too much, because all I did was cut it off. There we go. Beautiful. That actually went on there perfectly. All right, cool. Still seems to be holding just fine, even though I put the cut in it, so we should be good. And now all we have to do is clean this side up before I screw it back together. All right, and get all this junk and dirt and grime and gross stuff out of here, because it's a nice bike and we want it to look nice, and I've been touching everything and getting gross stuff all over the place. So, all right, clean it up, Dan. You're not a hunyuck. You don't live in the woods, kid. All right, get all that wiped down. All right, things to look nice, treat them nice, right? Right. All right, and that's how you replace a clutch, man. So we pull on it, make sure it works. You can see the green gasket all the way around now. Clearly got replaced. Everything's good. All these screws are nice and tight. We can add the oil again. So let's go ahead and pop this open. Get my funnel. Pour the oil back in here. Pour a little bit in first, see if she's leaking. And then we'll keep going. If it seems all right, we'll keep on pouring. That. It's beautiful. Now I had a little too much oil in it, so that's why I don't care about sitting there and fully waiting for it to drain off. But let's go ahead and squeeze that clutch cable now. See how that's doing? Oh, like a glove. Huh? Huh? Yeah, I don't see any drips underneath there. No fresh new drips. Looks like it's taking it. Just whatever was there already. So should be good to go. New clutch plates installed. I'm gonna finish installing that headlight and then we'll slap this thing back together. All right, clutch is in, everything's in, oil's back in it, and I just installed the new headlights, so I should have lows and highs now. We're gonna test that. We're gonna run it, see if the bike starts leaking or sounds crazy at all. So here we go. There you go, you can see my low beams working now. See? And now my high beam should be working too. There we go. Lows, highs. So the highs are never on until you turn them on. The lows are always on constantly. So now I have lows and highs. There we go. Sounds good. I don't see any oil leaking out of the bottom. She sounds healthy. Open the clutch, close it a few times. Let the oil get up and in the plates there. Bike upright. Let the clutch take all that oil in. Feels good, feels healthy. Alright, let's see where our engagement point is now. Make sure that the engagement point is still working how it should. Put up the kickstand. I got the front brake held nice and tight just in case it tries to engage for whatever reason. Perfect. Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, she's good. There we go. It's still not quite warmed up yet. Clutch feels way better. Oh yeah. Alright, so that other clutch was a little worn, man. You could tell it was slipping real bad. So, go back here a little bit. There's neutral. Alright. Put this thing back together, shall we? So we put her back together. She's good to go. Lights work. Don't see any oil leaking out of the bottom of it. Seems to be fine. Everything's good to go. So accepted the new clutch just fine. It's activating sooner than it was. I mean, you couldn't ask for a smoother, better job. So like I said, man, they would have charged you $600 to do this very simple little job here. There really is nothing to it. I mean, this just goes to show you how bad dealerships take advantage of people. I get that they need to make money, but not at the expense of just absolutely ripping off the customer. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're just taking you for your money, peeps. So, all right, well, from here, it's just putting the panel back on and reattaching the, you know, overflow lead up there. Once I get the panel back on, we'll reattach the overflow. From here, it's just putting screws back in. Okay, everything's back together. It's ready for its first ride. I'm not gonna put my whole helmet and all the vlog gear on and all the end mic, all that kind of stuff. We're just gonna take it for a ride, see how it does. So we're just gonna meet bare minimum required law, which is eye protection. Eye protection, and that's it. So go ahead and crank her back up. Add a little bit of choke in there until she warms up again. Headlight is obviously working still. So that's my lows. That's my lows there. Raise that up just a little bit until it warms up real good. So that's my lows. That's my highs. And let me make sure the blinkers are still working because I had that side disconnected. Yes, sir. That side's working. Goody. Alright, so everything's working now. Fully functioning. Bike is 100%. New clutch, new everything. Alright. Alright. It goes in so smooth now. So it's shifting a lot easier since I replaced that. It's definitely shifting a lot easier. So it needed that. It needed that replacement. 20,000 miles on the original clutch. It needed that replacement. Oh, this clutch feels so much better. The shifting all around feels better now that I've replaced the clutch components. Everything about it feels better. It's shifting so much easier. Before it was a lot harder to push the gears in. Now it's shifting like butter. Barely takes anything to get her in. running great.